Hey, ProSource team, Lee here. Christina had asked me to record a quick video on using reminder functions in Slack. And so I thought I would do that now. This may be useful for other folks, but for a lot of what transactions coordination does, I just thought it might be useful. So let me share my screen. All right, let's see. We are in Team Lee. Let's go to, I'll go to a, well, let's stick in a channel. Here, I've got a test channel just for purposes like this. So I created this. I think Stephanie's in this channel. Yeah, Pat's in this channel. So, all right. So you can use Remind a couple of different ways. I am on desktop, obviously, and so you can click a shortcut menu here, set yourself a reminder. But Remind is something that I use. Here's a couple different applications that are connected to Slack in our universe. I use Remind enough that I actually just use a keyboard shortcut. And so I can type in / which actually brings up the shortcut menu, Remind, and it says, okay. So I just typed /remind space, and that kind of shortcutted me through that menu without having to click anything with a mouse there. Remind me to check my oil in 2 minutes, 1 minute. So I intentionally am doing this on the front end. Slackbot, which is the automated kind of assistant within Slack, pops up and reminds. So I use that for myself all the time. If someone says, hey, I'm busy, call me at 4. You know, it's just a little assistant that I use all the time. The other thing that you could do, and this is particularly for transactions, so the reason Christina asked me to do this is we want to try and create some catch-alls that are, you know, 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks ahead of a close date that we're anticipating on a property. You can actually remind a channel to do things. Remind, let's say, prop, chat. There we go. So I'm kind of fumbling my way around there. Remind this channel really appreciate your hard work, team. Let's see, tomorrow at noon. And it'll actually interpret that, and it'll remind the whole channel about that. And so you could, the cool part is the Slackbot is, okay, there's my pop-up. You asked me to remind you to check my oil. So this popped up, and I wanted to point something out. Anything that you remind yourself in, you can type it in any channel. If you're reminding yourself, the reminder will show up in the Slackbot direct message system. So we'll go back to test channel here. So this will populate in the entire channel. And so what you could do is you could type remind channel X. This property is closing in 2 weeks on, and then you can type in the date you want it to remind. I'm pretty sure the API is actually smart enough to say you can just look at the close date and you can remind, hey, this channel is, this property is scheduled to close. Do we have a plan? 14 days before, and you could type in the close date, and it'll actually probably, you know, do the math and back you into that. So you can specify a specific time beyond date. I think it defaults to 8 a.m. if there's not a, it's either like 8 or 9 a.m. if you don't give it a time. So you know, you could even, if you wanted to, transactions, that's who I'm kind of talking to, if you wanted to, you could schedule all of those to populate at least 2 Thursdays before the closing date, because then it would notify the channel. You could say at 9 a.m. And that would be before dispositions started on a Thursday. And so you could basically create a fail-safe that would notify everyone in each channel that is between 2 and 3 weeks away from closing by picking that Thursday. And that could be a really good idea. So it's a case of the sky's the limit. You could do as much as you want. It's a really cool tool. I use it in a lot of different ways. So that's all I got for you. Hope it's helpful. Thanks for your time.